Who's the best player in the world?
Lionel Messi.
Who's the best player of all time?
Lionel Messi.
Lionel Messi.
Messi.
Que é o Messi.
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 When Messi has the ball, 1-1-1, you are dead.
Messi, arguably the best player in the history of football.
Lionel Messi.
Messi. The best is Messi. Messi's number 9, number 10, number 11, number 7, number 6, number 5, number 4.
In my eyes, anyway, Messi is the best ever.
Messi.
I think Messi is one of a kind.
Play with Lionel Messi. He's the best player in the world.
Messi. Lionel Messi.
Messi is the best player in the world.
Why Messi is the best player I've ever seen in my life? Because he's a competitor than anyone.
In the sweeping saga of modern football, few stories captivate as profoundly as that of Lionel Andres Messi. Born on a night marked by tumult in Rosario, Argentina, his entrance into the world coincided with significant national upheaval and personal adversity. Yet, from these beginnings emerged a figure destined to redefine greatness within the sport. The GOAT, Messi. The journey of a lifetime, presented in two compelling parts, begins with an intimate look at Messi's early years, set against a backdrop of familial migration from Europe to South America in search of better prospects. As we explore the fabric of Messi's journey, from his battles with a growth hormone deficiency to his iconic rise at Barcelona, we witness a narrative stitched with resilience, belief, and the indomitable spirit of a boy whose feet, rather than his voice, would captivate the world. This documentary does not merely recount the milestones of a global sports icon, but delves into the essence of what it means to defy the odds and embrace one's destiny. Join us in this first installment as we trace the roots and early flickers of greatness in Messi's storied career, a tale as inspiring as it is epic. In the 19th century, families from Italy and Europe embarked on ships and crossed the sea to South America in search of a better life. A significant portion of them settled in Rosario, Argentina. Among them were the roots of the Messi family. In Rosario lived a man named Jorge with his wife Celia and two children, along with the grandmother, in the year 1987. Rosario was experiencing a difficult humanitarian situation. Disruptions, protests, and explosions escalated into a military rebellion against the ruling regime. Argentina was still living through the effects of the dictatorial regime and was on the brink of a civil war. On June 24, 1987, two significant events occurred on this date. The first was historical for Argentina, and the second was historical for the world. The first was the imposition of a law requiring obedience to orders, which prevented the prosecution of soldiers who had committed crimes in Argentina as mere executors of orders. The second event involved a woman who screamed at midnight, urging her husband to take her to the hospital as she was showing signs of labor. This woman had been having an easy and calm pregnancy. Luca Caioli, in his book about Messi, mentions that hours before the birth, there were serious signs of a severe genetic disorder. The attending obstetrician informed them that he might need to use forceps, which the father vehemently pleaded against, having heard terrifying stories about them. Indeed, at 6 a.m. on June 24, 1987, the birth occurred naturally, and it was the first cry of a child to cry without noise. His noise was between his feet, not in his throat. This child was none other than Lionel Andres Messi. Messi first played soccer on the street with his brothers at the age of 3. As days went by, Leo's interests centered solely on soccer. His teachers' reports, his school, and his family mentioned that he was an average student academically and only loved soccer. His childhood friend mentioned that he used to ask her for help in the examination hall, and sometimes even to cheat in the exams. One day in 1992, his grandmother Celia, as was her custom, took Messi to a local soccer field. She narrates this situation. The first person who put Messi on the field was a man named Salvador Aparicio, who was coaching a team of players born in 1986 and needed a player to complete the team. Messi was playing with the ball in the stands when the man noticed him and asked his mother to let him join the team. However, she was hesitant because of his small size and very quiet personality, but the grandmother encouraged the mother to include him in the team. According to the family's story, she asked the coach to take Leo, but the man refused because the boy was small. However, the grandmother insisted and asked them to pull him off the field if he cried. This was Leo's first historic moment in the world of soccer, reminiscent of a drama and thriller movie. Messi entered the field. The ball came his way. He let it pass by without moving towards it, and the coach thought that this little boy was merely filling a spot on the team, nothing more. This opinion certainly changed a second later. A pass intended for Messi reached his left foot. He controlled it, passed the first player, outmaneuvered the second, bypassed the third, and the fourth. The coach felt that he was facing no ordinary child and swore never to take him off the field. All this while the child Lionel was playing against players older and larger than him. All this we say, and Messi had not yet reached the age of 5, and by 1994, Messi's fame had spread locally and among smaller clubs. The scouts at Newell's Old Boys Club asked Messi's brothers to introduce them to him to verify all the talk they had heard about their brother here. Messi was 7 years old, and indeed he underwent difficult and intensive tests in which he succeeded with remarkable distinction. They decided to admit him to the academy. The club, which was supported by Che Guevara, the revolutionary, immediately agreed. From this club emerged Kempes, the Argentine legend of the 1978 World Cup. When Messi was 10 years old, he participated in an important championship at the national level in Argentina, and his team defeated major clubs including Boca Juniors. Coaches described Messi on that day as a destroyer who demolished every opponent he faced. In 1997, as Messi grew older and became a teenager, his family began to monitor him more closely, yet he was still small in size. The family started conducting medical tests to confirm that he was suffering from a growth hormone deficiency. In short, the pituitary gland in the body does not produce enough growth hormone, and medical intervention is necessary to mitigate this serious problem. The disease is not genetic and cannot be completely eradicated, but its effects can be alleviated. The doctor shocked the family by saying that Leo would need a daily injection for a long period that would last from 3 to 6 years, during which the patient would be monitored with X-ray imaging of the hand and compared with previous images. It was a mentally exhausting process for both the family and the child until Messi learned to administer the injections himself. Messi's condition is rare, affecting approximately 1 in 3,500 to 1 in 4,000 children. Truly rare from the start, in every sense. Now, it was a significant matter when they found out that the cost of Messi's treatment was $100,000 annually. The family obtained Social Security sponsorship. 2 years later, the father received a shock from the Social Security. They would not continue paying the costs. After that, Newell's Old Boys Club management contributed to part of the treatment costs, but gradually the club withdrew from covering these costs, even up to the point of the final examinations and tests. A heartbroken father with the test results asked his son to enter his room so he could speak with his mother privately and inform her of the outcome. However, Leo had heard everything his father said. Afterward, the father called his son and took him into his arms. Imagine what Messi thought. He asked him one question. Does this mean I will not be able to play soccer after today? It might have been a question born of a child's innocence, but it reflects his character. This child's direction reflects to me the person who, as he grew up, continued for more than 20 years on the fields. A season better than the one before. Now everyone stopped paying for the child's treatment. His father decided to present him to River Plate, a prestigious club in Argentina and a rival to Boca Juniors. They were impressed by him, but administrative issues prevented the transfer. So, Messi's father decided to find another solution. Now, let's leave Argentina and cross 10,000 kilometers north across the Atlantic Ocean, in a country that speaks the same language but with different customs and dialects, specifically northeastern Spain, in the province of Catalonia, in the city of Barcelona. There was an Argentine there with connections to Barcelona. He got in touch and watched videotapes of Messi. As usual, he was amazed by his skills. This man decided to work on recruiting Messi and testing him. And here appeared the first problems for Messi in Barcelona even before the boy traveled to Spain. The club's policy prohibited contracting boys from outside the province of Catalonia, let alone from outside all of Europe. However, the man did not give up on this obstacle because he knew he had a treasure in his hands. So, the Messi family decided to come to Spain, the reason being even when they went back to Argentina and were surprised by his illness condition, they worked intelligently, paved the way for the subject, and came to them in Barcelona, which was a very smart decision and considered one of the most important decisions in the Messi family. Indeed, in the summer of 2000, he embarked on the most important flight in Messi's and his family's history with his father. But before this trip, let us return to Argentina. The father gathered all the family members around the table to make the most important decision of their lives. Are you ready to emigrate, to live abroad, to face the unknown? And the father said, any one of you who refuses to travel, we will cancel the whole idea and keep struggling in Argentina. After a period of discussions, the family decided to take our younger brother, board the plane for the most important journey, and place their trust in Leo, their son who was only 13 years old, ill, introverted, shy, hardly speaking, in need of treatment, and more than anything, in need of soccer.
Me llamo Lionel Messi, tengo 13 años, re lindo, está allá jugar en el Barcelona, pensar club más grande del mundo.
Indeed, Messi arrived in Barcelona and took his first pictures in front of Camp Nou. The boy walked around, astonished by the fields, the training equipment, and the vast resources of Barcelona club. After that, he wore the training clothes and joined the youth team for a full week of training with them, playing short and trial matches. The father watched his son, full of hope in him, and in his first match, he scored 5 goals. The boy started to attract the attention of all scouts and junior coaches in the team, but all this was still inconsequential because the decision-maker in Barcelona, Mr. Carles Rexach, one of the members of the Barcelona club's board at that time, was traveling. Messi had to increase his waiting period in Barcelona until the decision-maker returned. Indeed, he came back after weeks. He went to watch Messi's first game. It only took him 5 minutes to decide to sign Messi. And here we can say, the battle began because desire alone is not enough. Any sensible person at that time would have realized that signing Messi entailed more problems than benefits and that it was a risky adventure. At that time, Messi was a foreigner, which required papers, high costs, residency, and a salary. On top of all this, Messi's father stipulated that jobs be provided for him and his wife in Spain, and not just that, but also housing. The child was sick, his treatment expensive, and the illness could potentially end his entire sports career. He could suffer an injury that would end his story with soccer, especially since he was physically weak and at the same time. Another club could easily tempt the family and take him away, and they would have lost a lot for a boy the whole club in Barcelona was against. Literally, the entire club objected except for Mr. Rexach, who was convinced of Messi, but hesitant about the price to be paid. Here, Juan Gaspart, the president of Barcelona himself, stepped in demanding a convincing explanation for why they should sign a sick foreign child, frail in build, and every time Rexach responded with a single sentence, "The boy is worth the risk." Months passed, and the man still couldn't decide. At this point, Mr. Horacio Gagioli, representing the Messi family in Barcelona, reached his limit, requested a meeting with Mr. Rexach in a restaurant, and told him the matter had gone too far. please give us a decision. And with a stroke of brilliance, he threw a trump card or dropped a bomb. I won't hide from you. We have started negotiations with Real Madrid. This news struck Mr. Rexach like a thunderbolt, leaving him no choice but to give his approval. The Messi family responded, "No, we want a signed and agreed upon contract." Indeed, Mr. Rexach looked for paper and finding none. He wrote the contract on a napkin, considering it a pact of honor between him and the Messi family, and indeed, Messi's father received 2 messages from Barcelona agreeing on the join and financial terms. And here Messi left Argentina without fame. Nobody knew him in his country, and he moved to live in Spain to start the explosion phase. A card was issued for Messi in Barcelona. He was smiling in the picture, but that smile disappeared for months afterwards because things did not go well. The first problem was that Messi would not participate in local tournaments because he was a foreigner. The second problem was that the local Children's Championship had already approved the lineup for each team before Messi's arrival. The third problem was that Newell's old boys in Argentina refused the transfer procedures until Messi was registered with the Spanish Federation. And still, worse was to come. A defender tackled Messi and broke his left leg. You think the problems were over? No, the path to success is not easy, my friend. Afterwards, he suffered a home injury and a torn ankle, which meant months of absence. Can you imagine the scale of the crises? Amidst all this bad news, there came good news. There was progress in the growth process, and the doses were to be gradually reduced along with adopting a physical and dietary regimen. Then came an opportunity for Messi's father to sign a new contract, improving the financial terms, and Barcelona agreed only on the recommendation of the youth coaches. After that, the bad days for Messi started to end and FIFA documents arrived, and the player won his first title with Barcelona. Then he won a European Championship in Switzerland and afterwards a tournament in Italy. Messi was crowned as the best player of the tournament. Fabregas, Messi's peer in the youth categories, said he thought Leo was mute and didn't speak, but he was surprised by the contrary. This tournament was a turning point for Messi in his relationship with the other players. His stature rose, he was respected more, made friendships, and became loved by the players, because when he comes down, he transforms into another person. After that, in the 2002 to 2003 season, he moved to Team A, played all the championship matches, scored 36 goals, defeated Real Madrid, and won 5 championships. Here we stop at the words of Alex Garcia, one of Messi's coaches during this period. He says that Messi had a remarkable ability to hide his emotions in everything. If he was hit, he wouldn't get upset or angry, and off the field, he wouldn't talk about his homesickness, his separation from his mother, the family being split between 2 countries, or anything else. But at the same time, he knew exactly what he wanted. He focused on one thing: soccer. Garcia says he would place Messi in different positions each time to develop his skills, a practice very common in Barcelona's youth schools. This means sometimes the player would be put as a winger, sometimes on the right, sometimes on the left, sometimes in midfield, sometimes as a forward, and even as a goalkeeper, according to Garcia. Messi was annoyed by this, and once the match started, he would leave his assigned position and go play in his favorite spot behind the strikers, and no one was able to prevent Messi from doing this. After that, he was moved to the youth team with Gerard Piqué. His brilliance increased, and he saved his team from relegation. Then he joined the Argentina youth national team, where he was explosive and led them to qualify for the FIFA Under-20 World Cup. The Argentine Football Association pursued him to ensure he stayed with them and didn't switch to the Spanish team. But Leo always preferred Argentina and indeed led the Argentina national team to win the FIFA Under-20 World Cup. Messi was both the player of the tournament and the top scorer. After that, Messi stepped out from the shadow of being a young player. He became the talk of coaches, the club, and the media. In his first match in 2003 with Barcelona's first team against Porto, Messi's teammate on the field was Luis Enrique, who performed well but didn't score, and Barcelona lost during this period. Barcelona was going through bad years. Management changed, and coaches changed amid a rift with the rival. Very poor league standings. Early exit from the Champions League. The team addressed its issues and decided to make fundamental changes. They signed Ronaldinho, who was regarded as a gem of the world, along with Deco and Ito, and their coach was Frank Rijkaard. Barcelona was breathing again. All this while Messi was improving himself, but his fame had not yet become widespread among the fans. La Liga continued, and Barcelona shone. And indeed, on May 1st, 2005, a new history was written. In the second half, the game stopped for Barcelona's star Ito to leave, and a young-faced, slender-bodied player full of vitality and energy entered. This player was none other than Lionel Messi, and a new history was written for Barcelona and Spanish football, a new history for soccer. Messi was 17 years old at that time. Rijkaard gave him the chance, believing in the player and on the recommendation of the assistant coaches. In his first minutes, he was agile and maneuvering. Then he received a magical pass from Ronaldinho which the goalkeeper intercepted, pressuring Messi into a 100% closed angle. He acted then as if he were seasoned, lobbing the ball over the goalkeeper. Ronaldinho carried Messi on his back, celebrating him as if he were a younger brother. The players ran to celebrate with Messi, encouraging him. The bench was overjoyed, and the whole stadium exploded not for the goal but for the goal scorer, knowing the value of this player and his need for encouragement and enthusiasm. But don't expect things turned rosy now. Messi missed the rest of the season entirely, and the following season he was a bench player some days and absent from the lineup on others. A new crisis. The player was foreign and there was no place for him, and here Messi's father exploded at Barcelona. What are you doing until now? The law allows for the naturalization of an Argentine if he has lived in Spain for 2 years and rises again. Messi's father cleverly displayed his negotiations with Inter Milan to the Barcelona management as a second bombshell in the club's corridors. A clear and direct threat with an attractive offer from Inter, and to be fair, Barcelona's management responded to it. This move put Messi under a naturalized player clause with an annual salary of €3 million and a buyout clause of €150 million. After that, Messi's agent no longer chased calls from Pepsi, McDonald's, MasterCard, and other companies, and here a new war ignited for Messi between Nike and Adidas, and in the end, Adidas snatched Messi from Nike, which had been sponsoring him and offered him a deal 5 times better than Nike's. This was one of Nike's biggest mistakes in its history. It is said that with this contract, Adidas finally responded to Nike's blow of snatching basketball giant Michael Jordan. His participation in the 2006 World Cup was modest, and it ended with Argentina's exit at the hands of Germany in a match where Messi did not play. In the 2007 season, Messi carved his name deeper when he scored a hat-trick against Real Madrid at the Bernabeu, becoming the talk of the media and the public afterward. His fame grew. During this period, the player suffered from many muscle injuries due to high speed bursts, leading to muscle fiber tears, so Messi then had to take care of himself physically. Another major event in 2007 was Messi's historic Maradonian goal against Getafe in the media as the legitimate heir to Maradona. The next day, people and media around the world were talking about Messi's goal. The 2007 season was good for Messi individually, but it was a failed season for the team, and they were knocked out of all the major tournaments. The year ended with Messi being nominated for the Ballon d'Or, but the outstanding Kaká won it, while he was playing with Milan in 2008. In the 2008 to 2009 season, Messi moved to a new level, having one of his finest and best seasons, winning the Olympic championship with Argentina in 2008. But the historic moment was about a press conference for the Barcelona team. The essence of the conference was to introduce this man Pep Guardiola as the new coach of Barcelona. As we reach the conclusion of this first chapter in our exploration of Lionel Messi's extraordinary journey, we have traced the humble beginnings and early challenges that have shaped one of football's greatest legends. From the streets of Rosario to the precipice of international acclaim, Messi's story is one of relentless determination and unparalleled skill, woven deeply into the fabric of his character and his roots. In part 2 of The GOAT, Messi, the journey of a lifetime, we will dive deeper into the essence of Messi's football life, exploring his monumental achievements on the global stage. We will view Messi through the lens of science, examining the physical, psychological, and technical aspects that distinguish him from his contemporaries. Together, we will seek to unravel the complexities of his unique playstyle and innate abilities, attempting to answer the compelling question: why is Messi, Messi? Join us as we continue to celebrate the career of a footballer whose impact transcends the sport itself, whose story inspires millions, and whose legacy will undoubtedly endure through the ages. Stay tuned for an insightful journey into the heart of Messi's magic in the world of football.
Visca el Barça i visca Catalunya!